Moving up and down again, there's no discharge in the war. There's no discharge in the war.
Alright, welcome back everybody to another episode of Shepherd's Pie Podcast, or I guess the first episode, because we lost our first episode. So this is the real first episode. I'm David, your host, and this is...
Tommy, Sir Tommy.
Oh, we have that much
Two favorite
vacancy.
hosts who serve up fresh slice of conversation every day. No, we dive in, where we take the darkness and we transmute it to the light, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little lost because we lost our first episode, so it's going to be hard
Sad.
to transition from that, but I guess just to pick up, we could say that you'll get, I guess, a brief
What you
synopsis
get.
on... Yeah, you'll get what you get. You'll get a brief synopsis on what? Uh-huh. In the microwave. Like 45 seconds. I'd do it like
Not a
30
peep.
seconds and then toss it around.
What in the hell is this?
Yeah, I know, right?
Not a peep. Sit quiet in the background, woman. Oh shit. All right, that was out of line.
No, that's good. So, we will have a brief synopsis of what we're doing here, what we're going to be talking about. All of that will be something that follows. But for now, today's episode, we're going to be talking about... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong notes now. We're talking about our idea of what the world is and how that's changed over time. I've got a lot of points I want to hit on that, but I want to at least explain to viewers like why we think that this way and how it's affected us over time. So I guess I'll let you start with kind of what your idea of the world, and when I say the world, like the universe, what is the like cosmology?
What is the cosmos?
What's the word for it? Like your...
We live on a hot dog
No,
Earth.
there's a vocabulary word I'm looking for here that's like your belief structure of the space has a word.
My paradigm.
Nah, it's like cosmology.
know.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
cosmology. I mean, it could, yeah.
Anyway,
I
go
don't
ahead.
really know, if I'm honest.
That's the
I
best
was thinking like round Earth, like when I was growing up, like everybody.
part. Right.
You're thinking that you love Star Wars. You love
Actually, I
the-
just
the
want to
Halo.
pause you right there because it's an okay spot to stop. The fact that you said you don't know, I love it because that's where I'm at too, and it's great to be able to wash your hands of it and say I don't know what the Earth looks like, and people are like, "Aren't you crazy? It's a ball. We all learned it's a ball."
yeah.
And you can say, no,
I
actually don't believe that, and I'm not totally subscribed to the flat earth thing either, but I can wash my hands and say I don't know and feel less crazy than
Yeah.
what's actually being told to us. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
I don't know. The pick a side, or I don't really subscribe to that on everything. Don't need to pick a side when it comes to the shape of the Earth. Who really gives a shit? Does it affect your everyday? Does it, kind of sometimes, I guess, if you wanted to be like a astronaut, you'd have to learn round Earth and subscribe to a round Earth model. But no, it was mostly, everybody learns when we're kids. We all learn about, we're pushed upon us, an idea of what the universe is. And then you just little by little, I don't know, I was leaning flat for a long time there. But then I don't know, the flat earth thing, it almost feels like psyope too, the way it got pushed out, and when it did was just a little odd, so I don't really know. what we live on. I know that at the
Well,
center of it is
I've
God.
definitely seen that, like, the flat Earth community, like the flat Earth community, is like infiltrated with feds. Like, it seems to be like they put information out there to make it less believable. Like, you put goofs out there saying stupid shit that when people that haven't looked into it see that, they're like, oh yeah, no, this is nonsense.
And then you see the opposite too, though, where it's like you see so many like bots trying to attack it, or you see establishment trying to call it out and say it's bullshit, and you're like, well, I don't trust the establishment, so what's going on here? It's just no matter which way you turn with it, until you get on a rocket and try to figure it out. I can't tell you personally from my own experience. But my experience, especially as of lately, is pointing me in the direction of, God and Jesus and in the Bible. So I'm trying to lean more into that, because to me, that's what rings true. So you got like the firmament. Do I believe that we could leave the earth? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think we can.
So
Because from what I've seen, with fake frickin' NASA images, every single one of them are doctored in some way. And you ask them to, like, that's one of the things for the flat earthers, is it's like, they're like, strap a camera without a fisheye lens, do a continual stream, go up into space, and show us the picture of it, like live feed. And they don't do it.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
Apparently there are a couple from the Apollo rocket that's like a full circle picture of the Earth undoctored. That's what they'll claim. Is that, no, there are undoctored images. Apollo took a few of them. Those are the only ones. And the reason is because the rest of the satellites can't get above outer Earth orbit to get a full picture. So they have to piece them all together. That's what NASA will say, is that it's photoshopped because it has to be. Well, the community's like, well, why does it have to be if it's not flat? And that's their answer as well. The satellites don't go high enough. We've only got a couple satellites that are out there that far that are looking back, taking pictures. And when they do, it's not always a full illuminated Earth. So there's only a couple that, according to the narrative, that from the Apollo rocket that's way, way out there now, has looked back and gotten a couple of a full illuminated Earth. But I don't know if you can see, because I'm not streaming you my screen, but I've got a YouTube video up here that's showing kind of like the crazy flat Earth model, which is just like the flat disc with the dome going through space, and that's what people think when they first think flat Earth. So I'm sure.
I don't think that's what it looks like either. That's like very rudimentary understanding. That's like baby level understanding into what it could be. That's like the first thought you're gonna have when you are a heliocentric raised person. The first idea or concept whenever anybody says it's flat and they point at it biblically, and then you put those two things together, that's the first image you're gonna get in your mind, is a flat disc with a dome flying through space.
Right.
And I don't know, there's many different ideas of what that could look like what a real flat Earth could look like, and how it would even work.
I've got this image now, which is the flat Earth according to the ancient Hebrew concept. So it looks more square, because the Bible describes 4 pillars that hold up the firmament. So it does look a little bit more square, but you have the firmament, you've got the sun and the moon inside of that, and then you have Sheol underneath, which Sheol is described multiple times like an underworld. I'm not familiar because I haven't gotten to anywhere where it's been mentioned yet, but I looked it up once, and that's kind of what it's referred to as. It's like a hell antonym, similar to hell. Yeah. But again, the Bible doesn't really talk about
Hades.
Hell.
Hades or any of these other things.
Like, it mentions that the Nephilim are locked away in, I think it says Tartarus, does it not?
Yeah.
So, like, it says...
Now, this kind of ties in... This is tying into, we've got the cosmology understanding
word,
of
cosmology.
the
I
world.
said that, didn't I?
I think you said that.
We'll go with that. Somebody will let us know.
I think you said. I think you
Hopefully
said it.
somebody will let us know.
I think you said it. But yeah. So you've got outside cosmology, and then you have just history, and what you think human history, or history has been for the Earth plane, whatever we live on.
So
And
oh, go ahead.
nope, you're good.
I was gonna say, this image I just pulled up shows more of like what I've seen in Bibles, where it's like a sombrero shape, where you have in the center what would be north, where like the flat earthers believe there is the black rock, or some say there's like the Garden of Eden.
Agartha.
Right.
I think it's
There's like a whole
Agartha is the
continent
name
out
of the
there.
land, and then
Which
the mountain
I'll
is
find an
named
image of
something
that,
else. I
too.
can't remember.
But the idea is like that area is raised up more, and then it comes down, and then when you get to Antarctica, it goes back up and into the firmament. So that's kind of more what this image is showing. I had looked through this a little bit, and I was like, this is really good, and now it's not. So
like when you think about like, I don't know, I'd imagine it to be like we're like fourth dimensional, in like terms like that.
So,
which means that we have the three different dimensions, building this one.
Yeah.
So 3D, you got to imagine it's not just a flat plane we're living on. There's going to be, variations to the structure. And like you've got like apples and other natural things that grow with, like a torus type figure. So this could lead into the whole like toroidal Earth thing that you kind of subscribe to, and it does kind of make sense with like how even magnetic fields, everything's run on electricity and magnetic fields in this plane that we live on, and so it would kind of make sense for it to be shaped like that in its structure, to have some type of torus type,
yeah,
matrix.
I want to get into that in a moment. But I have a list here of ancient cultures that did believe the earth was flat. You got ancient Mesopotamians, the Egyptians, Hebrews, Greeks, Norse, Hindu, specifically the Vedic civilization, Chinese, the Japanese, the Mayans, the Aztecs, Mexicans, Incans, North Americans, early Christians, Islam, scholars, African tribes, Polynesian and Pacific Islanders, and then you have your modern flat earth movement. So like throughout all of history, people have believed in this same structure. Like I have up now the Egyptian hieroglyphs that show essentially what is a god creating the firmament. He is shaping the firmament himself, and then the sun is inside of it. And I don't know hieroglyphs, but it's kind of clear that it's the same sort of thing over and over again. So you don't get a new cosmology until like 3 BC, 5 BC. Let's see if I can find that.
Then what was their so the cosmology as mankind understood it, from what we can tell anyway, whatever's been written in history books and kind of established,
our buddy Pythagoras,
a unified, everybody kind of had a unified idea of what the earth was before then?
Well, nobody had even a different thought. So what we believe is that back in those days, you had Nephilim walking the earth. You had these unclean spirits playing gods, lower G gods. So all these civilizations that had a Nephilim influencing them and telling them and teaching them and ruling them on how to act and what to do, they all had the same story, is that, of course, this is all that there is. Like, why they hadn't even come up with the idea to make that lie yet. And it wasn't until later down the line where they're like, hey, if we can fucking change this whole narrative, we can keep them more locked up. That's what I think it is. I think it's a plot by the unclean spirits, the Nephilim. That
Yeah.
I think it's a tool.
Yeah.
So
It's tough to go really into any one specific.
6th century. Sorry, so that would be like 600 BC. But it's our buddy Pythagoras that's often credited as the first to suggest that the Earth was spherical. And even then,
Pythagoras.
they still thought everything revolved around the Earth. They looked up at the moon and they saw the crescent shape of the moon, and they're like, hey, maybe the moon's a ball, and if the moon's a ball, then we're probably a ball. But they still thought everything spun around us.
It's just, everything here is just too perfect. That's really what kind of will snap pretty much. I mean, if anybody actually takes a look at it and you like think of like what it would even take if you use like a science or heliocentric all right, I'll backtrack on that. It's not just science. It's this astrophysics or going into like space, I don't know, it's like a chaos theory that they try to operate on for like the universe. They've got the Big Bang and everything, and like, so a giant explosion in chaos that is organizing. The chaos turns into complex organizing, systems, until eventually somehow you get two chemicals through the soup that bind together and turn into
people think you get perfection
a cell.
out of chaos.
And that's not how it works. It is never how it works ever in nature, where you get perfection out of chaos. You just don't.
What got you?
And with the sun, the position of the sun and the moon, and how they're the same exact size in our sky.
We'll get
they
to
look
those.
exactly
We'll get
the
to those
same.
things later. You're ranting. We got to keep on.
No,
topic.
it's all leading into.
I know. We'll get to that.
Well, you asked me a question,
I
which was the cosmology, and
Right.
I'm giving you my understanding of the cosmology.
You're giving me the whole spiel. You're getting too far into it. We'll talk about all those things.
We don't go too far here. Go just the right amount.
Well, we'll get into that in a moment.
All right.
I wanted to ask you, like, what got you off of the round Earth and onto flat Earth?
You look at
You just started
pretty
seeing
much
proofs.
it.
So
Yeah,
for me,
and a lot of lies.
For me, it was Andy, because I was working with Andy. I was working with Andy, and he just got on the flat Earth kick, and he was just hard on straight flat Earth bandwagon. But for him, it was a faith thing. He's like, "Oh, it says it in the Bible, buddy. Like, look at your Bible." And so for the longest time, I was researching all of the shit from the opposing standpoint. I knew every argument against flat Earth. And so I would go to work and I would argue flat Earth with him all day, just a friendly debate, but I would hear every single one of his arguments, and then I'm looking up how to prove him wrong. And so for a fucking year, that's all I'm doing, is proving him wrong, fully believing the Earth is a globe. And then finally, I get to see that, like, all of this shit is so fabricated. The proofs are all made up to support each other. And then the evidence isn't actually evidence. It's all fucking fake. Like, the actual evidence is fake.
Exactly.
And then the proofs work because they make them to work that way.
Yeah. Yes.
So once you see
like,
that, it's hard to deny.
Another thing that, you can kind of make math do whatever you want it to. You can make numbers do whatever you want it to.
Exactly.
If you're like
And
psychotic enough, you can look at a
sequence
sequence of numbers.
And you look at who did this start with, but Pythagoras, the fucking the math dude.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And it kept going through Greek, which were the people that practiced the math, who really solidified
and it's
scholarliness.
It's not to completely burn math or to completely burn science. That's what people use as an argument.
Right.
Is that, oh, you're a science denier. You don't believe in science.
Right.
Or, oh, you what, does math not make sense in your brain? Do you not
And
know how to do math?
It's
And it's
not
like,
the
no,
denial
no.
of science. It's the understanding of the history of the science.
Yeah,
Because
that
who
and-
created the science? This is
Yeah,
all from
and then-
Aristotle.
Now, science, the method of science, and how things are implicated is how we have the world today. You know, we have that through, yes, breakthroughs in science and breakthroughs in mathematics. But when we get into these theoretical spaces, and when it falls apart, you know, under any type of like common sense. Like math works, science works. You do a certain thing to wood, and you fucking set it on fire, then it turns into ash. Like that's a predictable thing that can happen.
Replicatable.
But yeah,
The,
so
the
just
thing is, none of these proofs can be done by anybody that doesn't have
any
like
Joe
$1
Schmo.
billion or all
Yep.
the governments backing them up. And so that's
Yep.
why it's so unbelievable, is why can't we do a single proof at home to show? And so people will argue that you can do the Eratosthenes experiment. So he proved back in the 3rd century that with this was the first accurate measurement of the world being round, because he stuck a pole up here and he stuck a pole up here, and at the same time of day had people record the angle of the shadow. And by using math, again, you can show that because of the angle of the shadow and how far we think the sun is away, that it must be that the earth is round, because that's what the shadows show. And I've seen videos on it. We could maybe it's not worth showing, look it up, but let's spell
I think
it out,
that it
because
actually does the same
Eratosthenes.
thing though on a flat plane.
It does the same thing if you have a smaller local sun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
so
what
it would
people
change the
disregard.
size of the sun
Like, you can
and the
do-
distance.
Yeah, the proofs don't work if they work
Yeah.
both ways.
Yeah.
But that's
So
one that
someone's
they'll say-
wrong.
that's
There's a
one they'll
truth
say you
somewhere.
can't do at home. But then, like you were saying, all the things that like, oh, over the horizon, you see a boat go over the
Yeah.
horizon. Nope, you zoom in farther, you can see it. Or,
Yep. It comes back into vision, and
Yeah.
you can show that on a flat. That's a cool one too. Is that you can take a bead, and you can take 100-foot long flat board, and then you could have a camera set on the flat line. You could have a camera here, and then you could have the bead here. But 100 feet away, if you have the camera on 0 zoom, you won't see that bead. That bead will appear to be disappeared behind the horizon or the curvature.
Right.
But if you use the zoom feature, it starts coming into focus, and it's a perception. It's a field of view thing. That
So-
just having two eyes or having eyes in distance relative to each other, it creates an illusion that something disappears.
I forget the specifics, but there's a large group of naval gunners that are flat earthers because their targeting equipment should not work on a globe Earth.
Yep.
They have the
Yep.
capability to shoot things at such a large range without, they're not using satellites, they're not using like shit to get around the curvature.
That one, I've heard, I don't know, because I have heard that you get some of the like naval sergeants that'll say that they do calculate for it, but then you get a huge chunk of them that say that they don't. So it's another one for me that's muddied. It's
Yeah.
like from the
No,
first-hand
when you get
experience.
Joe Schmo Gunner saying, I'm a fucking flat earther because my job here at the Navy proves it, I believe
Yeah.
him. And that leads me to pilots. There's a
Yep.
huge slew of pilots that are flat earthers, and it's because
Yeah.
all of my sister's an airplane mechanic. All of the equations, the specs for how a plane flies and how it lands and propulsion and how all of that shit works, it doesn't take into account a flat earth. All of those things, the equation is done with a non-rotating stationary plane. And so
Yep.
that means a flat earth that does not move. And that's
Yep.
how the science and the understanding of airplane mechanics is. That's how flight is done, is on a flat, non-rotating plane. And so pilots will say, well, it's just because it's so negligible, you don't even have to consider it. But it's negligible maybe if you're talking about like a commercial flight that's going 400 miles an hour, 500 miles an hour. But what about when you're talking about planes that are breaking the sound barrier multiple times, that you're getting up to Mach 5?
Yeah, like hypersonic.
You're telling me you don't have to even consider that the Earth is round at that point? You're not gaining any altitude? Like, come on now. Like, there's a lot of different shit where it's like these people should either understand their job well enough that they're not convinced the Earth is flat, or we should be looking into this a little bit more.
Yeah.
So what got you off of the flat Earth thing? Because I know we both were on like the
waters are muddy. They're muddy waters. You know, like there's too much noise, and there's ties to flat Earth, like prominent flat earthers that, you know, obviously tie into intelligence. And I mean, it's just, how can you trust that?
Right.
How can you trust it? You know, I can't. The only thing I can really put my trust in is, you know, really God and the Bible at this point, you know. But, and that speaks towards more of a flat plane, yes, but I don't know. So
what got me off of it is the Bible, for one. There is, I'll shout out a YouTuber, I think he streams. YouTuber my mom got me into. His name is Jade Dreamer with a Z. Jade Dreamers.
I think I've heard of
fun theories. But the toroidal Earth thing, a lot of actually some influencers talk about it too, and I'm gonna pop it up here real quick. When people first hear toroidal Earth, this is what they're thinking of, is like a donut planet, and this is not what I'm talking about. My understanding is a bit more like this, where it's kind of like a plane with the toroidal energy field that would be the firmament and the Sheol underneath, but not even so much as that, as I think it's like ethereal. I think the whole, like you were saying, with the perception, all of the universe operates on this ethereal plane of frequency and energy fields and magnetic fields, and it's all kind of just more ethereal, and it's responding to each individual's perception and manifests as a result of our godly interaction with the universe that God made us to interact in. And so
our innate nature.
Yeah. When you read in the Bible that literally the firmament is the heavens above, and then it says in the Bible that we will never understand what heaven is, then I'm like, okay, so everything is wrong. We're never going to figure it out. Because literally heaven's like here on earth, it's right above us, and we're never going to know what it is. Like, they're launching rockets into it, and they're never going to know what it is. And so I'm
it's like,
okay,
that's like a tribute to Babylon.
Yeah. So now I can wash my hands of it and say, I don't need to know. All I know is everybody's wrong. Everybody's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah, and that's why this topic it's a lot deeper than, you know, you would initially think it would be.
So
because it ties into a whole view of, you know, reality, and there's so much to it.
Yeah. So if you'd like to, now we could go into like all the reasons the flat Earth community says that the Earth is flat, because there's a ton of them, and I got a little list here.
Yeah, there's a lot. You got the being able to see further than the curvature calculation should allow.
Right.
That's a huge one. I mean, that's a simple one that most people can see if they just go to their like local lake. That's a little bit bigger than, you know, that's like 30 miles across, you know.
Right.
You go to the Great Lakes, and the fact that you can see the city across from the Great Lakes, like tens of miles away, like, and you can see entire buildings.
Yeah.
If you use a zoom feature, that's enough.
So it's not enough. It's not enough, because the given narrative is that those can be mirages, those can be light reflections, light reacts to gravity, so our visual perception of the thing can actually wrap around the curvature of the Earth, Tommy. Didn't you know this?
Yeah, that's bullshit. It is. It's just
But
bullshit. You know,
we gotta make
maybe
sure we're
to a
covering our
degree.
bases.
Maybe to a degree, but to legitimately a degree. Like if you take the sun, you know, the sun does that. You know, you get the It's not. Is it parallax?
Parallax
Is that the
like
word?
parallax is like when you're in a car and the trees are moving slower than the trees in front. Like the trees close to you are moving
Okay,
real
so it's
fast
not
and the trees in the rear
parallax.
are
It's
slow.
something else, where the sun's gravity warps the space around it. So like stars that go behind the sun, they'll disappear at different times, and it's because of how
Oh, yeah.
the light is
Yeah.
warped. So like it messes with the perception of where the thing is, you know,
Right.
where the star is,
Right.
you know. And if you take that and if you just even use their own model for that, how much more massive is the sun than the Earth?
Right.
And it only warps it. It doesn't warp it a lot.
If
It
is
only
the size
warps
they
it a
say it is.
little bit. Yeah. And it only warps it a little bit.
Right.
And you were to take the mass of the Earth and try to mess with our visual acuity, it doesn't line up. I don't know. Not in my book it doesn't. So they'll make up excuses. But it's like every time an excuse gets made up, it gets shit on. So it's how can you believe it?
Right.
I can believe science, and I can believe the power of the human mind to create systems. We can create systems, we can create order out of a lot of different chaos. So I think that we can come up with pretty much any sequence of numbers and then describe it any way we want to make something look.
The craziness
However
is the
they want it
sequence
to.
of numbers.
Yeah,
Like,
numbers
the
are nuts.
The numbers that they choose to use for all of this.
Yep.
What is the
Yep.
circumference
Distance.
What's the circumference of the Earth?
I don't.
What's the circumference of the Earth?
The whole circumference is 26,000 or 28,000 miles.
Yeah, but that's.
But if you, it's like if you cube it or something, square it. I don't fucking know, but it's one of the things that if you do it or if you take the radii, it's something 666. You take the distance from us to the moon, and you can get 666 out of that. It's like they use numbers that speak to the system, you know,
The Earth's
the whole
orbital
beast
speed.
system.
The Earth's orbital speed averages approximately 66,615 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
also something with the circumference I've seen is 666. And yeah, there's a lot of 666s in
There's
fucking-
too much
in
666.
space. So
There's too much.
We can continue going through the flat Earth things. We could talk about NASA.
NASA, man. What does it mean in what is it? Sanskrit?
Yeah, NASA means to
Or-
deceive.
Yeah.
In Hebrew, I think.
What is
Isn't
it?
Hebrew?
or? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Hebrew. Here, let me see.
Um,
Nasha. It's Nasha. And that means to deceive.
But the founding of NASA, who do you have? The big fucking hands in it in the beginning. You got Werner von Braun, Nazi. You got Walt Disney for some reason, who's pushing out cartoons and propaganda to children. Children who probably didn't care or think to believe in space until they started seeing all these cartoons about going there.
Are we getting what's it called? Mandela affected right now?
Why?
Because I'm looking into NASA in Hebrew on Brave. This is on Brave browser. And it's saying that it means to lift, carry, bear, or take.
That's so funny.
Like, are we being totally
Yeah,
just...
AI is telling me that the claim that NASA means to deceive in Hebrew is false and stems from a common linguistic conspiracy theory. NASA
I'm
is
telling
an
you
acronym.
right now, that shit was on Google.
Yeah.
I've seen videos. They're trying to Mandela... That's a Mandela effect, dude, that we just found. We just found a Mandela effect. That is
No.
freaking hilarious.
No, I got it. It's trying to tell. It's doing the fucking AI thing where it's like, no. Don't believe in your conspiracy theories. But it's clarifying to me right now that Nasha, 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 or Nasha with Nashah, which Nasha and NASA, very fucking close, is a verb root that in certain biblical context and conjugations means to deceive or to beguile. So if you say NASA, the acronym that is an English word, they're like, that's not a Hebrew word that means to deceive, because the Hebrew word to deceive is totally different. Well, if you're being a deceiving Hebrew, you probably are not going to name it Nasha. You're probably going to be fucking, make it really fucking close, you know?
It's like it's a way to translate though. Like you translate it back like the actual like letters.
So that book that I was showing
with.
you, we'll start busting that out. That book that has every single word from the Bible and every translation and every reference of the page that it's on.
It's going to be a good tool to use.
Well, that has already shown me through that one time I tried to look up giants how fucking convoluted it's going to be. Because right next to Rasha, which was when I went to giants, it's like, oh, go look at Rasha. Right above Rasha and below Rasha are 10 other words that are one letter away from Rasha. You know, and they mean similar things, but maybe they're talking about different people or clans of people or something totally fucking different. But the words, like, that's how tricky it is. So you really got to look into all the variations.
You got to see if they're connected, and
also,
if they're connected,
you
how.
You can't be fucking deceived by them trying to say, oh, well, actually, that was a mistranslation because this word was that word and that word was this. No. Use your discernment that we are granted from God and understand that we are being deceived because it's so fucking clear that we're being deceived.
It's literally so clear. It's so clear, but we get gaslit. We're like, as a species, or as like a segment of the species, which is the populace, like not the elite. We're just massively into getting gaslighted. We just love
all of the astronaut footage, all of the space footage, all of the spacewalks, all of it just seems so ridiculous now. Like, I can't look at it without it just seeming funny
bubbles.
and fake. Yeah, and I don't understand how anybody can look at it and think, well, that looks real. Because it has never. And you can look at what we have now and what we had back then and look at what they had back then and think, how did anybody ever think that was real? That looks so ridiculously fucking fake and, like, low budget. And even now, you know, you see these fucking Jeff Bezos' wife and all these fucking bimbos go to space, and everybody's like, no, they went to space. And it's like, no, you shot a rocket into the sky. We've been able to go into lower Earth orbit for decades. That's all they did. You went into lower Earth orbit. We know that
AI, especially nowadays, and it's like what we've been released. You know, this is like,
I mean, I'm not going to say
decades
it's fake.
ago's
A lot of people are
technology.
saying it was fake. I'm not saying
I think
it was
it's fake.
I'm saying they didn't go to space. Like, you can't just claim these women went all the way to space when they didn't go to space.
I don't even think that they went up anywhere.
Well,
I don't think they went anywhere.
Even if they did, like, it wasn't space. We have the technology to go that high. We have technology to do the anti-gravity thing with the zero-G planes. But the door thing
alone.
Oh no, the dolphins
destroys
was a different video. That was the astronauts they saved.
The door thing alone, if you know anything about going up into like you can't have a door that's that openable from the inside. It needs to be sealed. Yeah. And they're not opening it. Those little women are not opening that door that is sealed in any real meaningful fashion to make it so that you can go up to a oxygen deprived environment.
Could be mechanical assists.
There's not. They
could be strong women.
I'm telling you, there's no way they went up that high.
All right, beyond the door
there's no way.
There was no scorch marks from re-entry. When you come back from space, you're going through ridiculously high temperatures. There was no evidence of that. That Daisy that she brought with her and back would have died.
Yep.
I don't clearly understand it, but I've heard people explain.
I don't know.
You take that sort of biological life up with you into 0G, and a flower's not going to be able to sustain itself going up there and back. There's because
Will
of
it just like wilt or something, or the water, or
yeah,
something?
the G forces from
And
coming
pressures.
back to Earth. Yeah, you're experiencing ridiculous amounts of G's coming back to the planet. So first
Yeah.
of all, those fucking women cannot handle that because it's like
Yeah,
military
they would need
level
suits.
G forces that they needed
Yes,
to train
they would
to
need
be
suits.
exposed to. And then those videos where we're seeing coming back, they wouldn't be like, "Hi, we're coming back." They'd be like,
Yeah, they're just loving their life. Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
keep oxygen in their fucking heads.
Yep. It was a fully fake event, and then you look at the badges, and you flip them upside down, and we get symbolism
yeah, it
that
looks
just is
satanic.
constantly in all of this shit. It's in everything. You got the Baphomet. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
So,
So I don't. To
after
me,
that, we had.
I don't think they went up.
No, they didn't. But then after that, we had the. Was it Elon Musk rescued the astronauts?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've
We
heard
had-
of that one.
You didn't hear about that. There was 2 astronauts stuck in space. They were only supposed to be up for a couple months. They ended up being up there for several months. But they didn't have.
I think I heard a little bit, but nothing noteworthy.
Yeah, they didn't have the ability to get them down. So apparently, from the ISS, they were trapped at the ISS. So apparently, we didn't want to go to other countries. China and Russia could have done it, but we didn't want to seem weak and incapable and ask them to rescue our astronauts. Even though, of course, they have correspondents in the ISS. They have Russian and Chinese astronauts up there
Yep.
that would say, hey, these people are stuck. Report that back to their countries. There's no way, like, they don't know there's astronauts stuck up there. So, like, literally, you're just not asking for a ride. Out of fucking what, you don't want to get butthurt about it, trying to save face. Anyway, they were able to get resupplied, however. Like, they got Christmas presents, they got Christmas decorations, they got hair dye. They were fully resupplied and restocked with food and stuff, but they weren't able to get back for some reason. So Elon was apparently the only one with SpaceX. They were the only ones capable of getting him back with their new special Dragon rocket, whatever.
Yeah.
And so they went and got him and brought him back, and it was a whole to-do. Big, huge fucking saving thing.
Was that
was
when the rocket got caught?
No. Yeah, no, they didn't do that. They landed in the
They
water.
didn't do the rocket catching?
No, that was
Okay.
when they landed in the water. And the
Oh, yeah,
dolphins
yeah.
came
No,
up.
I do. Yes. Yeah.
Remember when the dolphins came up to greet him in the water?
Yes.
Like, how fucking bullshit.
I do remember a little bit of something with that. Yeah.
So, yeah, that one seemed fucking ridiculous, too, the whole time.
Yeah. And the list is, like, pretty endless.
Well,
For any type, like,
now we're talking
if
about
it's something
AI
that's
Atlas.
standing up, well, yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't really know with that one if it's going to be anything. I don't know if it's going to be
well,
an
now
alien
it's the
invasion.
time. Right now
I
is the
doubt
time.
it.
They're like, oh, expect, Halloween Eve. We never saw any drones. We never saw any
Nope.
fucking probes.
But then again, I don't know. It's if it's anything of that nature, which in my opinion has a less than 0.1% chance of being legit.
I think it was a distraction.
You can
Did
do
you see
anything,
there was
really.
an asteroid that went over Antarctica like 100 feet above the ground, or something like that. 100 miles. Maybe it was 100 miles. A fucking asteroid zoomed by the bottom of the planet, went over Antarctica, and just kept going. And nobody knew it was there. Nobody knew it was coming. And it just barely missed us. And
Yeah, they're prepping us for that type of shit.
it's like, what? So we're just watching AI Atlas so fucking hard you don't see the other asteroids coming? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
you're telling me this fucking Atlas telescope that takes a picture of the sky all the time to see if anything changes, that saw AI Atlas come in from outside of our fucking solar
Three-eye
system?
Atlas.
What do I keep saying?
It's
AI
three
Atlas?
eye. Yeah, it's 3-eye atlas.
The 3-eye Atlas thing. They apparently saw it coming from outside of our solar system.
Yeah.
And interstellar means outside of our galaxy.
No, I think
Right?
it just means yeah.
It's
yeah.
outside of the Milky Way. Yes, no, it's outside of the Milky Way
No,
galaxy.
I think it's just outside of our system, our local system, because there's no way they can know if it's outside of our galaxy.
Are you
It's
sure?
outside of our solar system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Interstellar,
I think that is the
between
significance,
star
'cause
systems.
outside of our solar system, there's that debris belt that usually nothing comes through. So,
Yeah.
but you're telling me you can see that, but you can't see this one that's fucking right up our butt?
Yeah. Dude, with all the satellites that are up in space, I don't know. Apparently, in air quotes, I don't know. I think that the 3-eye atlas thing is.
I like
I
calling
think
it
it's
AI
like a
Atlas.
omen.
Because it's like AI.
No. No.
I think it's a distraction. I think it's a building people up with negative energy.
Yep. It's a ritual.
I think it is a getting us ready for something else.
Yep.
I don't think it, in and of itself, is of any concern.
I think it's an omen. I think it's part of a ritual that if this is my crazy brain, but I don't know, my crazy brain's usually pretty good with this shit. It's to me, it's a type of ritual where they've been doing shit, for decades, centuries, and whatnot. And when they hit certain like parts of that, it's a ritual going on until the Antichrist. That's what they want, and that's what it's all about. And I think that it's actually an omen for them and something that they kind of manifested, and that what they're doing publicly with social media and the whole push of 3-eye atlas is some sort of alien type thing. It's all prepping the mind and everything for whatever phase that they're trying to usher us into. It's a ritual. It is a full-on ritual, probably a manifestation of something that they've already done, some ritual that they've been doing. But that's just my schizo opinion.
Right. So I guess another point I had on this topic was how does this affect you in your regular life or with the people around you?
It used to, 100%.
Well, how does it-
100%.
how does
I keep
not
it separate
anymore?
now.
Oh,
I keep
okay.
it separate. I in anything that I stand firm on, I usually just don't talk about it, Like I won't bring it up like that. It's usually
I
like
to
whatever
let
other people
know.
are talking
I like to
about.
see the look on people's face when I let them know I don't believe space exists. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I fucking don't believe in. I'm a full-grown adult, really rational fucking person. Don't believe in space. You want to talk about it? No. Usually they don't. And I'm like, okay. But
Yeah.
I at least
Yeah, I don't know.
I at least give them the opportunity to fucking hash it out with me if they wanna.
I'll pose questions. That's what I do, is I just pose questions of you don't really know, but I mean, we can dive down your little rabbit hole if we want to, because it's still fun to think that space is a real thing.
Right.
Halo's always going to be a fun game, and you're always going to want to be flying, through space to the Halo and fighting on some ring in outer space against aliens. It's cool.
Right.
That's why it was sold to us.
Oh. I was just looking over the notes. I should probably bring this up. A couple points. The lack of parallax in the shift in stars over time. So it's not just us going around our sun and our sun going around our solar system, but then our solar system going around the Milky Way galaxy, and then the Milky Way galaxy going through the whole fucking universe. So why have the stars been the same for all of time? How come all of history,
recorded time,
human beings have been recording the stars and they've never fucking changed?
Yeah.
That don't make sense.
Yeah. They try and point to the just grand size of their model.
Oh,
of
so
the
I get the
universe.
question a lot, and I know we've both said that we just don't know, so we'll wash our hands of it. But it's fun to theorize and spitball. What do you think the stars are? Because like
That's a
it makes sense,
crazy one.
and it even says kind of that like God made the sun and the moon. But I don't know if it really talks about stars.
I think that they're just the lights. You know, he talks about, you know, making the different lights, and I think
See,
it's just part of that.
I've thought about stars as like doors or mansions or the discarded bodies of the Nephilim. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's different
So,
ideas that are pretty.
When I've done mushrooms, I see the stars all tethered together, and some of them
Yeah.
seem to be like moving, trying to like bust out of their tethers, and then the other ones
Yeah.
are just like holding it down. Obviously, I'm hallucinating, so I don't really vest any sort of
Yeah.
belief into that, but
Yeah.
it's interesting nonetheless.
Tripping nuts.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to know exactly what's real with that.
And I thought people would probably give a shit if we didn't bring this up, but the final experiment where they went to Antarctica and filmed the sun in the sky for 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever the fuck it was. What do you think about that?
Where they went
Are you
to
familiar? Are you familiar with it?
Antarctica filming.
Yeah. Do you know about the final experiment?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they took a flat Earth guy. They took a like known conspiracy theorist out to Antarctica, had him camp up, set up shop, fucking film the sun go in a circle or an 8, and apparently that proved that we're on a globe, because Antarctica should be around the outside of the flat Earth, and so if you're there's no way the sun's doing a circle there, because the sun should be doing this circle.
Yeah, and then
I think they went
I don't know.
Fucking the center, obviously, and the sun's doing a circle.
They
around
could
the
have.
center. That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I've seen a
but then
lot
again, with the time of year, that would matter with the model. You know,
Yeah.
the time of year would make a difference. So at opposite ends of the year is when you're gonna have either the north having the sun for 24 hours or the south having sun for 24 hours.
Well, yeah, depending on where your axis is.
So for the time of year that they went, it should have been the South Pole. So, but then again, I mean, bro, we got
Well, yeah,
agents,
of course, the time of the year that
you
it
know?
was, and on a globe Earth model, it should have been the South Pole. That's what the experiment was.
Yeah.
Was the
Yeah.
South Pole.
So it checks out for like what
What they say
they're
it
trying to
was.
prove for their side,
Yeah,
which
obviously.
I mean,
but the discrepancies
there's a little bit of mud.
are, the discrepancies are apparently people have found a lot of like what looks like photoshopping with the mountains behind them, or
yeah. They could have taken them anywhere,
that,
really.
like, they tried to match up the mountains that they were in front of with mountains that are in the northern hemisphere, not the southern hemisphere. I'm not too big on it, because when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know, kind of bullshit. Like, let us all go to Antarctica. I don't fucking buy it, you know? You take one
the fact
dude
that
out
we're
there
not
and we're
allowed
supposed to believe it.
is crazy. The fact that we're not allowed is
Like,
crazy.
A couple years ago, you disclosed aliens. And now you take one conspiracy dude out to Antarctica to prove the Earth isn't flat, and we're just supposed to believe you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not just gonna
and
believe
when
it.
we know that conspiracy dudes we got a bunch of them that have been manufactured.
Yeah.
Because once they realized that conspiracies were a threat, when the internet hit and we started gaining traction in early YouTube and shit,
Get
when
Ben
that shit
Shapiro.
started happening, they made sure they knew. They're like, we need our own people on the inside to control this shit, because they're literally spilling our plans. Like they're fucking it up for us, and we can't let them get too much traction. So we got to send our own dudes out there and frickin'
Muddy
have
the
them
waters, like you said.
muddy the waters, and that's what they do. That's how they operate. It's how Satan's minions operate. It's how Satan operates. It's all deception. It's all fucking crazy dumb shit. And so it'd be so easy. I think it's far easier than anything else for them to do something like that. It is just ridiculously easy. I mean,
So-
with all the money, all the power.
I know we've
and-
talked about this before. What do you think about the idea of like the moon being a hologram or having like such horrific scars that we need to like put up a projection on top of it to cover up what we did to it?
I don't know. I don't really buy that one.
I don't buy into that one either.
I really
but
don't.
You'd
I
shared
feel like
a
the
few
moon-
like moon refresh videos with me before, so I didn't know
Yeah.
where you stood on that.
Well, that is wild shit, and I don't really know what that's about.
The moon
I really don't.
refresh.
That was Crow 777. Crow
Go check
777.
out
It's
Crow
the lunar.
777 and his moon refresh
It's the
videos.
lunar wave, is what he calls it. The lunar wave, and that is a weird phenomenon.
He
that
claims
I don't.
it's a repeatable phenomenon.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
captured it multiple
and I don't know,
times.
dude. You know, it could speak, and this is a scary one, to like the whole like simulation theory, but like on a scale that I don't know, dude. It feels really fucking weird.
So like I don't totally
To
dismiss
where, like-
the simulation theory because like it's just you gotta broaden your definition of simulation. Like when people say simulation, they think The Sims, they think The Matrix, they think
Yeah.
we're in somebody's game. When really, expand the game to all of existence and creation, and God's
Yeah.
playing it. And like, yeah, it is simulation theory. God simulated this whole existence for us to be in. Like,
Yeah. It's our
we're-
definition of
we're
simulation
a
and
little
what it
sim-
ties
yeah.
to that
It-
limits it.
it's that not misconception, but that preconception
Yeah.
of what
Yeah.
it looks like.
Yeah, that it's a
Um,
video game, or that it's they make it so, I don't know, childish.
And, like,
It's a
that's a
childish
lot of-
understanding of it.
That's a lot of what people have wrong about God in general. Is they hear God, and you picture the man up in the clouds with the angels flying around, that's gonna fucking send you to hell when you do shit bad.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
that's
it's
just
a
wrong.
childish
It's-
understanding.
Well, why is it childish? Because that's what
Because
they push
it-
on us when we're children.
Yep,
That's exactly how
And-
it's shown to us
yes,
over and over again
yes.
when we're children.
yep. That's what they give us. And it has to be that's why it works so well too, is because it's so easy for our brains to attach to. And
Yeah.
it's base layer. So
Yeah.
there's no real critical thought that has to go into it. You don't have to really use brain power.
Right.
It's just something that you see, and it's like a symbol, and it fits into how your brain processes shit. And boom,
I'm
there you
curious
go.
to
You got
know what
something that's
like the
believable.
first instance of a simulation story was. Because like I
don't know.
thought Matrix, and then I'm like, well, I'll go back further. There's like Tron.
Yeah, it has
They-
to be,
They went
yeah.
into Tron, and then I'm going back further, and I'm like, well, like D&D is fucking old as fuck, and that's like like you're simulating doing like an experience, and so I like just really broadening the definition of the word. What would be the earliest like man-made simulation?
I think probably fables or something about loops. Or like deja vu.
Well, like it's gotta come from some sort of worship, because what first comes to mind is like, what if there was like a tribal practice where like you put on the animal hide and pretend you become the animal, you know, you're filled with the spirit.
Yeah.
Like that's like a simulation.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
really broaden the horizon of the word.
Pretend.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
Like that shit that kids do.
Well, we're coming in on the hour mark. It's all a simulation. The Earth
I
isn't
don't know.
The Earth isn't flat or round. It's all a simulation. Is the conclusion.
What
we
if
come
God's
to.
what if God's the forerunner from Halo?
I'm not too familiar with Halo lore. Maybe we can dive.
You know, like
into
the
it.
forerunners, the ones that frickin' built the ring, and
Oh, they
they
made
have all
Halos?
across all the different planets. There's like ancient shit, you know, like way ancient. Nobody even knows who the forerunners were, but they
Huh.
created everything. What if God is the forerunners? and that's why the moon has the wave. You know, because
there's-
like it is a projection, but it's because God made that projection for whatever reason.
Yeah.
He made that projection, and this whole thing's a construct. It's a construct.
Well,
And God's
there is
the
nothing new
forerunner.
under the sun, so
Yeah.
it makes sense that those things equate.
No, I don't believe that at all. But I don't know. It was just a stone thought of mine.
Well, whenever I look into media, I do try to analyze, like, how did these people come up with this? Where are they drawing
Yeah.
inspiration from? Because you look
Yep.
into TV and shows and media and movies and you look at the inspiration and you're like, wow, these people fucking knew something. It's like all these writers are occultists. It's like they
I think
all...
it's-
What?
Yeah, I think it all goes back to this story, this like
Right, and it's like all a
primordial
similar story.
Yeah, it's like the story.
The story. Just on
The
loop.
story.
On
There's
loop
only
over and over.
one story.
And like it's
ever
got a bunch
told.
of characters. There's a ton of fucking
Yeah.
characters doing a bunch of different shit.
Yeah.
And you
There's
could
only
even,
one
you could
story.
even be one of them, bro. You could even be one of
Yep.
them characters. You probably are.
Yeah, dude.
But
And I think it ties back biblically in that way, and that's how I'd like to end it.
yeah.
It all does. It all ties back.
Yeah.
It all does. In one way or another, that you can always tie it all back.
Alright. Well, on that note, get fucked because we don't have any social medias, so you can't like and follow
Yep.
and subscribe or do nothing. So
Soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
Just keep
To be
watching.
continued.
We got nothing yet.
We will. Bet.